Welcome back to my channel. Today we'll be discussing Love Tractor by HmmYongYong. HmmYongYong. Something like that. Now before we get started, there will be spoilers, so if you don't want me spoiled on some Manhwa, go ahead and click off now. No worries, I'll catch you next time. Now for those of you left behind, let's go over some content warnings. There may be references to homomesia, blood, devastating car accidents, child abandonment, PTSD, toxic parent-child relationships, and depression, as these things do appear in the manhwa. Now, if that's all good with you, let's go ahead and get started. As always, let's start with a quick synopsis. Son Yul desperately needs an escape. His relationship with his father has been tenuous at best, and his relationship with his boyfriend hasn't been going much better. While trying to keep the balance in his relationships, he's also struggling through law school. Things are beginning to come to a head with Yul's mental health when his mother talks him into going to his grandfather's farm for a break, since his grandfather is in the hospital unable to keep up his home. Yul accepts the offer and leaves the city to escape to the farm. Yul expects many peaceful days ahead. However, he doesn't expect to find a big burly young adult named Yi-chan, whom he briefly knew as a child. Yi-chan grows attached to Yul, and soon the days with Yi-chan far exceed the days Yul has alone. And while he would never admit it out loud, Yul finds himself growing attached to the boisterous young man. But even in this idyllic scenario with the eye candy that is Yi-chan, the darkness of the life he left behind is ever looming and threatening the fragile happiness he's built for himself. The moment I saw this art, I recognized it immediately. This is the same artist that made one of my favorite BL manhwa of all time, Oh My Assistant. And much like that manhwa, it gives me all of the same warm fuzzies. If you like Oh My Assistant, I have no doubt you will like this. It's absolutely beautiful, and I might even say it's prettier than Oh My Assistant. And much like Oh My Assistant, we've got a big, lovable hunk and a beautiful man. The character designs are really top-notch and might be some of my favorite character designs of all time. Yi-chan and Yul are opposing designs and personalities, and by all standards would probably not typically end up together, but in that way they fit perfectly. This is a love story you really shouldn't miss if you can help it. It's worth noting that though I didn't mark this as mature in the written version of this review, there is sexual content. Sex is depicted and heavily implied, which is why I've tagged this with sexual content, but nothing is shown. It's similar to titles like Rain Again and A Thousand Cranes, where the sex acts are shown but there are no displays of nudity. In the case of Love Tractor, there are facial expressions and sensual depictions, but nothing else. It's still incredibly sexy though, and it personally still scratched that itch for me. However, if you're hoping for some pornoir level BL, this isn't it. I still highly recommend it though, because this is super sensual and romantic on a much deeper and more intimate level than I think sex could ever depict. One of the best parts of the series is the lack of drama. Most of the tension's not due to love triangles or anything like that. Instead, it's all based on Yul's traumatic romantic past, unwillingness to be vulnerable again, pressures of his family, and his discomfort at being in an unknown rural area. The romance relies heavily on Yul healing and becoming secure in himself again, which is much more satisfying than something like a love triangle. Plus, it's bolstered by Yi-chan's coming of age as a young adult and finding his first love. It's a ton of fluffy and sometimes heart-rending personal growth for both characters that becomes a strong foundation for a really sweet romance. While Yul's technically the star of the show, Yi-chan is the real hero here. He is absolutely precious, and he creates one of my favorite BL dynamics with Yul, big, strong, lovable bottom with a smaller, pretty top. His accent, his unyielding positivity, and his undying devotion to his, quote, ham, unquote, that's Hyung in his accent, and his dreams are magnetic. He makes you want to fall in love with him, and he makes for a perfect counterpart to Yul. I love Yi-chan so much, and if you don't read this for any other reason, read it for Yi-chan. You won't regret it, I promise. With all that being said, this is a syrupy sweet romance that's a must read. It's BL with an emphasis on love, and I can't recommend it enough. If you're hoping for intense drama or pornoir, you'll probably be disappointed. However, I think you'd be doing yourself a disservice if you don't read this simply because it doesn't have either of those. Instead, it's a pleasant, slow-paced journey between two individuals who try to better themselves so they can be better for each other. It doesn't get much better than that. So, have you read Love Tractor? If so, what do you think? Do you agree with my assessment? Do you not? Let me know and comment below. Otherwise, I'll catch you next time. Bye!